maybe the second D1. They had a defensive end come out of there last year. Should we talk about this player of the day?
I'd love to talk.
I would
about
like
the
to see
player of
this
the day.
Justus Terry tape.
Can we wait?
Way
Can
to
we do
spoil it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
just
thought you
kidding.
already mentioned
What?
it.
Can we talk about the player of the day?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Okay, let's talk about the player of the day. All right, here's the deal. I know Elijah Griffin is like the number 1 ranked player in the country. I get it. I know Elijah Griffin is going to be great. And here's how I know that. I know that people inside the Georgia building have told me Elijah Griffin is the closest thing they have evaluated to Jalen Carter since Jalen Carter. And that is a lot of high praise. That's high praise. You know what I mean? Like, that's big-time stuff. All that being said, there's just something about Justus Terry to me. And I'm always going to be someone who is prone to believing in body composition and body movement patterns. If you carry weight well and if you move weight well in the right way, I'm going to be a proponent of yours. I'm going to be a fan of yours. And guys, I don't know if they make them prettier and better than what Justus Terry already looks like coming out of high school. He's a junior, rising senior right now. He's 6'4". He's about 265, but he'll probably play at about 275 this fall. And we can talk about how he carries in the muscle mass and body fat percentage and all that good stuff, and the fact that it's located in the proper areas. I want to see big, broad chest, wide shoulders, thick arms, big forearms, big, thick quads, and a big booty. That's what I want to see on my defensive lineman. Okay, full stop. That's what we want to see. He carries it right. It's perfect. All that good stuff. But it's just so clean. There's just so much that's there already that when I see this high of a floor on a football player, and I know there is a safe gamble, I almost feel like I want to put more stock on that one than I do the guy that I know still has some physical development, which is what, to me, Elijah Griffin has. I think Elijah Griffin, like I said, going to be great, but he doesn't look, feel, sound, move like Justus Terry does right now, even though his ceiling might be higher. But ceilings, we gotta take out insurance on betting on ceilings. We don't have to take out insurance on betting on floors.
Yeah, it's nice having some security. Security is a good thing to invest in for sure.
Should we watch tape?
Let's get it.
Please,
watch
can
tape.
we watch the tape, please?
All right.
Yeah,
Got to make sure unmute.
Get that mic right.
Get that mic right. All right. So the other thing I love about Justus, positional versatility. If you told me he ran 4.85, 4.86 at the Under Armour combine the last 2 years, I wouldn't be shocked. And it's a smooth moving 272. All right, so let's take a look at him right here inside on the shade of the center. All right, he's going to split essentially 3 blockers right there as they try to run Sally. That's a no-go. And the other thing you will see here from Justus throughout this film study, he's going to be wearing 0, he's going to be wearing 10, he's going to be wearing 75, he's going to be wearing 50. The reason being, he was constantly rotating positions based on what the team needed him to do that weekend. So there you go. Just an all-around athlete, and you can see it right here. The swag and just how he moves reminds me, and here's a name that a lot of Georgia fans might remember.
Good God, he's big.
Yeah, he's a 6'5", 275-pound version of Tyree West. What Tyree West was sold to be coming out of Lee County, or Tift County, this is what this guy is. All right, he's huge, and he is a mover, man. He is an absolute athlete. There you see him running the quarterback down right there. Big, thick lowers, like I mentioned, and a big, thick chest. There you see him playing defensive end with a good inside move on that left tackle that simply had no chance.
Looks like he unofficially clocked in at like a 4.88.
Pretty good.
Little tap, little pat on the back.
little pat on the back right there, bud. That's just looking at it.
Holy
That's
shit,
just,
was he coming off the edge on that play?
Yeah, he is. That's just watching it from the sideline.
That poor
Here he is
tackle.
right here. He's wearing 70 right here with a cast on his hand, by the way.
Bro. That poor tackle.
And again, no bad body weight at all on this one. And even like when I look at Elijah and I find out that he's carrying 280, I see a frame that could hold 305 when he puts college weight on. And they're going to put college weight on, which, hey, by the way, if you can play 3-tech at 6'4", 305, that's fine. But at Georgia, we get to that 305, 310 range, we might be kicking down the nose tackle if we're not careful. Okay, same thing with the NFL, especially if we get too big, which I don't know if Elijah will. But if you look at Elijah Griffin today, you can see room for another 20, 30 pounds. I mean, here's how I know. This sounds really goofy. Pointy elbows.
No,
If I see you standing with pointy elbows, I know that the surrounding muscles around your body have not developed.
Shoulder bones,
Same
too.
thing for knees. If I see knee-knocked athletes, A, you're probably not squatting correctly. B, our quads have not developed around our kneecaps. Okay, so these are things I'm looking for as an evaluator, and this guy's holding it all well. That's why I said body composition and body movement patterns. How we look and how we move it matter to me as an evaluator. I mean, he moves like a linebacker in terms of how he strides and how he covers ground. What do you got, Curb?
I remember interviewing him last year at the Under Armour event.
Very soft-spoken.
Very soft-spoken. He was 16 at the time, and it felt like I was talking to a 24-year-old. Not just in the fact that I was standing next to an absolute monster, but the fact that he's also very well-spoken, soft-spoken. Like
Did you see him squeeze?
Let me watch this.
Watch it, not this rep. Watch the next rep. That's him coming flat down the line of scrimmage. Watch him squeeze right here.
Oh, my Lord.
And then work back out. So here's the other thing I noticed, and this is the game we were at. Here's the other thing that I noticed when I watched him the other day at the Under Armour event. Extremely technically savvy, right? I'm not speaking down on Manchester football. I'm speaking down on the history of that area of the state, and here's what I mean by that. In Atlanta, in Metro, these kids are working their hands, their hand fighting skills, their pass rush technique, their pass rush moves. They're working that shit around here when they start in like 12, 13 years old. They're working with Marcus Howard. They're working with Chuck Smith. They're working with whoever it may be. They're working with the folks up at Velocity. They have a specialized trainer to train their hands, to train their moves, to train their pass set skill set. This dude had an overhand swipe where he jumped a full gap, and like we showed on Coach Brooks' segment the other day, absolute stud in terms of his technique already. I sent it to Georgia today, one of my sources. I was like, hear me out. Justus Terry, greater than or equal to Elijah Griffin. And immediately I got, whoa, hot take artist. And I'm like, I'm not a hot take artist. I just we can turn the Elijah tape on too, maybe Monday. But it's great. Don't get me wrong. He don't look like that guy. And you have to look like that guy to play on Sundays, because playing on Sundays requires premier athleticism. He's the greatest athletes on the earth playing defensive line in the league.
Yeah, I mean, look at freaking Aaron Donald. Like, he's got a six-pack.
Yeah, at 285 pounds. And he bench presses 500,
Yeah, you're telling me that's not one of the greatest athletes?
Yeah. So, again, I think Elijah will grow into what he is. And that might be even freaking scarier, that Elijah Griffin is that great already and does have people inside Georgia's building saying that about him. And we're sitting here on this network saying, man, he got room to grow. And that's nuts. There's also going to be some level of competition change from Elijah that I don't think a player from Manchester would have to deal with. Manchester, I think maybe a 3 or 4A school, not huge, but they play a slightly better level of competition than a Savannah Christian would.
Yeah.
But not that much better. Both these guys are going to be drinking from a faucet or a fire hose when they get to college.